I'd like to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai. Peace and safety to the hopefully elect. All the sincere Akim scattered throughout the four corners, pushing his word in sincerity and in truth. And for those who don't know, Yahweh is the name of the Heavenly Father, who the world ignorantly calls God, and Yahweh Shai is the name of the only begotten Son, who the world ignorantly calls Jesus Christ. And in this edition of Drop the Mic, I'm going to go into Revelation 18:2 and show you what it's referring to when it speaks of the unclean spirits. So this is Revelation 18 and verse 2, and it reads, "And he cried mightily with a strong voice, saying, Babylon the great is fallen, is fallen." And Babylon the great is a metaphor referring to the nation of Edom. That same dragon, that great red dragon that's referred to in Revelation chapter 12, also referred to as a great city, referring to the nation of Edom. So when it says Babylon the great is fallen, meaning their position of power is going to be taken when the Lord returns. So when the so-called white man fall, it says, and is become the habitation of devils. Now we know a habitation is a dwelling place, all right? And that's where these devils dwell. Reading on, it says, and the hold of every foul spirit. So in this lesson, I'm going to show you that that habitation and that hold of every foul spirit is referring to people, all right? And reading on, it says, in a cage of every unclean and hateful bird. Now, that unclean, what it's referring to when it speaks of the unclean and hateful bird, when you look up this word hateful, as you can see here, it says detested, all right? Detested. To detest, all right? So when it refers to the unclean and hateful, mean detested bird. So basically saying when Babylon, which is the nation of Edom, when they fall and be taken out of their position of power by who the world ignorantly calls Jesus Christ, they're going to become the habitation of devils and the hold of every foul spirit. The same way when Israel fell, all right, Israel became the habitation and the hold of every foul spirit. I want to look up this word hold, and as you can see here, it says, let's get it. It says guarding, it says the act, it says the condition, all right, the condition. Literally or figuratively, a cage, a prison, all right? So that's where those devils and foul spirits dwell within people. So reading on verse 3, it says, for all nations, including Israel, all right? That's not excluding Israel. Israel is a part of all nations, have drunk of the wine of the wrath of her fornication, and the her is referring to the daughter of Babylon, all right, referring to the nation of Edom, all right? So it says, for all nations, including Israel, have drunk of the wine of the wrath of her fornication. So, reading on, it says, and the kings of the earth have committed fornication with her, and the merchants of the earth are waxed rich through the abundance of her delicacies, referring to the nation of Edom. All right. Now I want to get the next precept here in the book of Luke. In the book of Luke, in chapter 4, and verse 36, and it reads, and they were all amazed, and spake among themselves, saying, what word is this? For with authority and power he commandeth the unclean spirits, and they come out. And they come out of what? Man. All right, that's where unclean spirits dwell. All right, and like we read in Revelations 18:2, Babylon, which is the nation of Edom. All right, once Babylon falls, they're going to become the habitation and the hole, meaning prison, meaning cage of every foul and unclean spirit. All right, but this is referring to Israel. All right, this is referring to Israel. So I'm going to read that again. And it says, and they were all amazed and spake among themselves, saying, what word is this? For with authority and power he, referring to Yahushua, commandeth the unclean spirits, and they come out. Now, let's get the next precept in the book of Mark. The book of Mark, chapter 5, and verse 8. And it says, for he saith unto him, come out of the man, thou unclean spirit. So that's the habitation and the whole of these devils and these foul spirits. Now when you look up this word unclean, as you can see on your screen, it says not clean, not cleansed, unclean. It says in a moral sense, unclean in thought and life. So that's what it's referring to in a moral sense. It says impure, and it also says lewd, morally demonic, and foul / unclean. So this word unclean, is synonymous with foul also. So it says, for he said unto him, come out of the man, that's that habitation, that hole, thou unclean spirits. All right, and Israel, all right, the nation of Israel is the habitation and the whole of all these devils and unclean spirits. And I'm gonna prove that with the next precept. So this is the book of Matthew, chapter 8, and verse 16. And it reads, when the evening was come, they brought unto him many Israelites that were possessed with devils. All right, and he cast out the spirit with his word. So the Lord cast out spirits with the word. Remember, it's referring to morally. All right, to be immoral. So it says, and he cast out the spirits, those unclean spirits, all right, with his word, and healed all that were sick. All right, and healed all that was sick in the moral sense, man. All right, that's possessed. All right, the habitation, the hole, meaning the cage of those devils and foul spirits. So let's see here. Let's get another precept and prove that further in the book of Matthew, chapter 9, and verse 35. And it reads, and Yahushua went about the city, all the city and villages, teaching in their synagogues and preaching the gospel of the kingdom. And that's the word that was able to heal those Israelites. The gospel of the kingdom. And healing every sickness and every disease among the people. Because Israel are sick and diseased people. All right? Basically, Israel is the habitation, all right, and whole of every foul spirit, man. All right? And those foul spirits, such as homosexuality, adultery, all right? Israel is big on adultery and homosexuality, witchcraft, sorcery, idolatry, all right? And that's the sickness that the Lord is referring to, that this gospel of the kingdom is able to heal, because the Lord himself is known as the physician. Let me get a precept and prove that point in Mark 2. In Mark 2:17, it says, when Yahushua heard it, he said unto them, they that are whole have no need of the physician. And Yahushua is the physician. All right? Remember, through the word, which is Yahushua. And that's what was able to heal those Israelites. So it says, but they that are sick, I came not to call the righteous, but the sinners. All right? The sick, the disease, those who are possessed with devils and those unclean spirits. So I said, I came not to call the righteous, but the sinners to repentance. Okay? So Yahushua himself is the physician. All right? And his word is able to heal. And the word that he's referring to is the gospel of the kingdom of heaven. All right? So let's get one last precept in the book of Revelations. The book of Revelations, chapter 21, and show you the symptoms of Israel's sickness, man. So let's see. This is Revelation 21 and verse 8. Remember, all nations drunk of the wine of the wrath of Babylon's fornication. All right, and that's why the Lord considered you morally sick, man. All right. So it says, this is Revelation 21 and 8. But the fearful, and when you look up this word fearful, it says here in the strong definition, faithless. All right, faithless. And that's a symptom of being sick. And you need a physician, all right, which is this word, the gospel of the kingdom, all right, to heal you from that unfaithfulness. Reading on, it says, and unbelieving. I want to look up this word unbelieving. It says unfaithful, not to be trusted. And that's describing Israel, man. The nation of Israel, not to be trusted. Even those guys that claim to be shepherds, that's supposedly leading the flock. All right? They're teaching lies, performing sorcery and witchcraft on the people. And they're not to be trusted. All right? It says unbelieving, without trust in the power. Here in the Strongs, it says especially a heathen, and basically due to Israel drinking that wine of the wrath of the so-called white man, the Edomites, fornication. All right, that's what basically make you a heathen. Remember, John 8:44, you have your father, the devil. All right, so if you have your father, the devil, we know the devil is referring to the Edomites. All right, so basically that's referring to you being a heathen. All right, and that's why you need this word of the gospel of the kingdom to be healed, which is Yahushua. So it says faithless, infidel, unbeliever. All right, so going back to Revelation 21 and 8, it says, but the fearful and the unbelieving and the abominable, and these are the symptoms that Israel suffer for. These are those unclean spirits and devils that inhabit the nation of Israel. So let's look up this word abominable. All right, it says to render foul. All right, those foul spirits to cause to be, let's see here, abominable. And you know, going back to the law, adultery, homosexuality is abomination unto the Lord thy power. And Israel is full of adultery and homosexuality, among many other sicknesses. So it says, metaphorically, to abhor, to hate, to detest. All right, remember Revelation 18 and 2, those hateful and foul, those hateful birds, all right, which means detest. And Israel is detested by the Lord, all right, because of the abominations, man. All right, here in the Strong's definition, it says to stink, to be disgusted, detest, abominable. All right, so reading on, it says, but the fearful and unbelieving and abominable. All right, these are all the symptoms that the sicknesses that Israel basically suffering from, man. And that's why they need that physician, Yahweh Shai, man. All right, that word. Okay, so reading on, it says, and murderers. Now, we all know what a murderer is. It says homicide. A murderer, always of a criminal. All right, so the Lord described Israel as criminals, man. Remember, he who hates his brother in his heart is a murderer. All right, and there's a lot of hate amongst the nation of Israel, and that's one of those sicknesses, all right, that Israel is suffering from, man. All right, so it says homicide. It says murder. All right, so basically you get the point on that. And it says, and whoremongers. Let's look up this whoremonger. Pornos. It said, a man who prostitute his body to another's lust for hire. All right, and we have that also going on amongst Israel. All right, that's big amongst Israel, man. Homosexuality, man. A male prostitute. It says a man who indulges in unlawful sexual intercourse. All right, and a fornicator. An unlawful sexual intercourse is referring to adultery, man. All right, which is an abomination. All right, which is abomination to the Lord thy God. All right, and that's big amongst Israel, and that's why Israel is the hole and the cage and the habitation of every foul spirit. All right, and the Lord detests those foul spirits, man. So basically that's the point on that. And it says whoremongers and sorcerers. All right, this is another sickness that Israel suffer from, sorcery. All right, let's look up this sorcery. One who prepares use and magical remedies, sorcery, and that's what these so-called pastors do. So all you wicked men, you wicked shepherds that the Lord commanded the faithful to prophesy against. All right, this is a sickness that you suffer from. All right, all you One West elders. All right, this is a sickness that you guys suffer from. So it says a drug, and that madness that you guys teach is a drug. All right, it says spells given in portion. Them doctrines that you teach, those doctrines of devils that you teach to those zombies. All right, that's basically a spell that you guys are under, man. It says a druggist, a musician. All right, a musician. So it says whoremongers and sorcerers and idolaters. I want to look up this word idolatry because Israel is big on idolatry. So here in the Strong's it says a worshiper of false gods, referring to you Christians. All right, all you Caesar Borgia worshipers. All right, all you Muhammad worshipers, you Israelites that believe in Islam. All right, a idolater, a worshiper of false gods. All right, a covetous man as a worshiper of mammon. All right, money. Those who basically have been deceived into receiving the mark. All right, which is mammon. All right, money. So it says a covetous man as a worshiper of money, and that's the biggest idol amongst Israel today, and that's why Israel is basically the whole and the habitation of every foul spirit. All right. So here, let's see. It says worshiper, idolater, an image, them that worship the image of the beast. All right. Remember, going back to Revelation 18, it says all nations, including Israel, have drunk of the wine of the wrath of her fornication, referring to Babylon, meaning confusion, man. All right, and that's basically why they need that physician, which is Yahweh Shai, which is this word, which is the gospel of the kingdom, to be healed. So it says idolatrous and all liars. And all liars. And we all know Israel is the biggest liars, man. All right? The biggest liars. Fearful, unbelieving, abominable, murdering, whoremongering, sorcerer, idolatrous, liars. All right? And basically these are the symptoms, all right, that Israel suffer from, man. All right? Manipulating liars. So it says, shall have their part in the lake. So you should be part of that body. All right. The Lord refers to people as water in the book of Revelations. So you should be part of that body. All right. That lake which burneth with fire. All right. Which going to receive judgment when the Lord Yahweh shall return. All right. If you don't take this medicine, man. All right. For these wicked symptoms that you have, man. These unclean spirits, man. All right. These devils that inhabit Israel, man. All right. So it says, and brimstone, which is the second death. And basically that's the point. I hope you brothers was edified. And with that, I'm going to say shalom.